Sitting, please. Let's make our way to our yoga mats, find ourselves sitting. Most of us might already be there. So I went on a trip this weekend. We went out to, some of you already heard, but we went out to the river. We found this little Airbnb that someone had made. They bought 75 acres on kind of like one of the canals that go off of the Colorado River. And so they've made these little private camps and these private beaches at like right on the water, and nobody was around us. You can't see anybody. It was right out of our front door to the water. It was amazing. 110 degrees, and the water was about 80, 78, 80, and it was just perfect. When you go on a trip, you always bring a book, right? And so the book that I brought this weekend was the Ram Dass book, Be Here Now. And I've tried to read it a couple times, and it's really, if anyone's ever looked at it, it's really trippy how it's written. There's art and pictures and words that all just kind of like intertwine amongst each other. And while I've tried to figure out how to read this book, what I learned over the weekend was the way that the book is written is kind of a challenge to really have to be in the moment to even understand where the words are and how the pictures intertwine and everything comes together. The point of all of that was the book is called Be Here Now, and many of us are familiar with the teachings of Ram Dass, and that was really the message that he came out with, is to just practice being in the moment. We spend so much of our lives preparing, like we were just talking, preparing for the next moment, that when we get there, we're preparing for the next ones, and then we get there and we're preparing, or maybe we get there and then we're looking back on what came before. So as we come to our practice, as we come together, really just seeing if we can anchor ourselves. I like to think of it this way: if we're living in the future, in the past, we're living on this horizontal plane, which is somewhere between the past and the future. But if we can find ourselves in the moment, we find ourselves vertically right here, anchoring down the moment that's right here. So as we move through practice today, let's see if we can just focus on finding the space in our heart to be here right now. And with that, let's close our eyes and give it a try. Softening our shoulders, opening our hearts, taking a couple breaths that really just allow us to arrive. Just noticing what there is to notice. Hearing what there is to hear. Allowing ourselves to fully and wholeheartedly come into the moment without expectations. What does it feel like to be alive in your body and in your breath right here, right now? Through this practice of mindful awareness, is there anywhere that you observe that you're holding on to any unnecessary tension? And if you observe it, just see if you can breathe into it and soften. And one of the key elements of this mindful awareness practice is to observe without judgment. See if we can observe opening our minds, opening our hearts to the moment. See if we can keep the eyes closed and allow our breath to guide us as we inhale and circle the arms out and up towards the sky, lengthening through the side body, lifting through the heart. As the palms touch overhead, lower them all the way down through the midline, landing in front of the heart. Bowing the chin in and down towards the chest, again, as we surrender the ego to the heart. And perhaps setting an intention for your practice, for your day, for your week ahead. And then allowing whatever that intention is to draw us back into the present moment. As we enter into this practice, we honor ourselves, we honor the practice of yoga, we honor one another. And to that, we bow our heads and say namaste. Namaste. Releasing the hands, eyes can open. Let's come around and into a tabletop position and just start to move a little bit. So as you move, coming to the hands and the knees, and just like we do, just moving organically, moving naturally. Start to stretch and awaken, finding cats and cows if that feels nice to you. Finding a child's pose or a downward facing dog. And again, if the names of these poses mean nothing to you, just move. Just breathe and connect with this moment. Building this relationship with ourselves and with this moment can be challenging. The mind wants to wander and drift. And can we see if we can acknowledge it and come back? One of the main focal points in our yoga practice is the breath. We can use the breath to anchor us back into this space. If you're in a flow on your own, continue there. If you want to join with me, we'll inhale into a cow pose. Tuck the toes, drop the belly, lift the chin. Pause here for a moment. Feel the heart melting, the low belly drawing in, the front of the ribs, the lungs stretching. Start to untuck the toes, move the chin to the chest, navel to spine, stretching through the skin, cat pose. Stay here. Pause. So as I say pause, we stay within the realm of the pose. And if you want to find any little micro movements, moving the hips a couple inches, the shoulders or the neck, you can. Back into cow, dropping the belly, lift the chin, inhale. Back into cat, chin to chest, navel to spine, round the back, exhale. Back into cow, belly down, head up, spine arches. Let's all tuck our toes, lift our hips, downward facing dog. And get comfortable in your downward facing dog. See if you can pedal out the feet, if you can shift your hips. Find the space that works for you. Honor your uniqueness. Really let our practice teach us to honor our uniqueness, to get into the grooves of our own practice, of our own awareness. Knowing that there's space, there's modification for each and every one of us gives us an opportunity to really feel into our own practice, our own awareness. Let's lift our heels high to the sky with an inhale. And tippy toe our way all the way to our hands as we exhale, coming to the top of the mat. Feet inner hips distance apart, 10 toes facing forward. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold, surrendering heart to the earth. 2 more through that half lift. Inhale, shoulders back, spine lengthening. Exhale, fold. See if we can go nice and slow. Breath of compassion. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold, slowing down the nervous system by slowing down the breath. Let's take it slow as we rise to standing. Circle the arms out and up. Inhale, reach to the sky. Right hand wraps around left wrist, side body stretch. Lean to the right. Exhale. Inhale, come back to center. Switch hands, lean to the left as the left hand wraps around the right wrist. Inhale, back to center. Spreading our arms, fold forward. Exhale. Inhale, lift halfway. Hands to the earth. Let's step back, downward facing dog. Settling in here, moving back into that familiar place. Inhale, come forward and into a plank. And you can keep your knees lifted if you wish. We're going to take 3 pulses. I recommend lowering the knees to the earth, drawing the navel into the spine, finding an inhale. Exhale, lowering halfway to the point where your biceps are parallel to the earth, and press back up as you breathe in. Exhale, lower halfway, just finding a little bit of warmth in the body. Press back up. One more, lower halfway. Find that pause, that hover, connect with that strength, and come all the way down to the belly. Lengthen out the legs, light in our hands, open in our heart. Cobra, inhale. Exhale, back down to the earth. Slowly press back, tabletop. Downward facing dog. Again, every time you get into that downward facing or any pose for that matter, nestle in. Find your space, find your balance, find your awareness. Let's lift our heels high to the sky as we inhale. Tippy toe towards the hands, forward fold, exhale. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold. Left hand to the center of the mat, under the nose, left knee bends. Right arm to the sky, forward fold twist. Finding that center, finding our spine, lengthening along the spine as the breath moves in. Twisting a little more as the breath moves out. Find the space to move into what feels nice. Treating ourselves with love and compassion, nurturing ourselves here. One more breath. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, half lift, shoulders back, opening through the spine. Exhale, fold, bringing right hand to the center of the mat, bend the right knee, lift the left arm to the sky. Spread the fingers, move the shoulders back, open our hearts, and then just feel, how do I connect to my body? How do I connect to my breath? How do I connect to this moment right here, right now? Last 2 breaths, breathing into the spine, the twist, the opening up. And with an exhale, fold all the way forward. Halfway lifting again, neutralizing the spine, lengthen out. Exhale, fold. A little bend in the knees, circle the arms out and up. Inhale, rise up, reach up. Exhale, hands to heart. Just completing the cycle of breath. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lift halfway. Hands to the earth, left foot to the back of the mat, left knee lowers down. Low lunge, reaching the arms forward and up. Inhale. Exhale, drive the hips forward, lift the heart, bend the elbows. Inhale, straighten the arms to the sky. Stay in this lunge position. Can you soften through your right toes? Can you soften through the base of the foot by pressing down and drawing the energy up the leg? Soften the shoulders, open the heart, spread the fingers. Inhale. Exhale, hands come down to frame the foot, tuck the back toes, lift the back knee. Inhale, straighten the right leg. Bend right knee, exhale. Inhale, right leg straight. Exhale, right knee bends. One more. Inhale, right leg straight. Exhale, right knee bends. Keep the back knee off the earth. Crescent pose. Just one round of breath. Inhale, rise. Exhale, elbows bend, heart opens. Inhale, reach fingers to the sky. Keep softening shoulders. Slowly lower the hands to the earth. Step back and into a downward facing dog. Taking our time. Setting up our feet, our hands, nestling into that familiar place. Pressing down, lifting up through the hips, lengthening through the side body. Coming forward and into a plank position. Now you decide if you want to keep the knees lifted or lower. We'll take just 2 this time. Exhale, lower halfway. Inhale, press up. Exhale, lower halfway. And all the way down to our bellies. Cobra pose, lengthen out the legs, open the heart. Inhale, rise. Exhale, come all the way down to the belly. Press back, tabletop. Downward facing dog. Take a couple breaths here, downward facing dog. Breathe into the hands, breathe into the feet. Bringing the big toes to touch in downward facing dog. We lift our left heel to the sky. Bend the knee, open the hip here, and find a little bit of movement through that left leg. Maybe circling out the hip, bending and straightening the leg. Re-extend left leg long behind us. Inhale. Exhale, knee to nose, stepping left foot forward, maybe taking a step and a walk. Rotate right heel down to the ground, rise up, warrior two. Bending through the front knee, so we have left toes forward, right foot back, strong arms. Now connect with this moment. Feel the feet pressing down, feel the low belly drawing in. Can you soften your shoulders? Can you open your heart? You find a little more space to breathe into the sensation, to get comfortable with being a little uncomfortable. Let's reverse our warrior, right hand down, left arm up and back. Inhale. Stay here. Can you bend your left knee a little more? You reach that left hand a little further up and back, rolling the right shoulder back. Find another full round of breath to nourish the body from the inside out. And then windmill the hands all the way down to the ground. Finding a balance, lifting right heel to the sky as we stand on the left leg. Hands might come a little bit in front of the foot, just finding the space that allows you to be the most balanced, the most neutral, so that you can practice being in the moment. Lifting the heel of the right foot a little higher to the sky, softening the heart. 2 more breaths. Right foot comes down to meet the left, forward fold. Inhale, lift halfway. As we fold, heel toeing our feet a little closer together, bending our knees, finding chair pose. Sink the hips low, lift the arms to the sky. Draw the low belly in. See if you can take a little bit of the arching out of your low back by drawing your tailbone down towards the earth. Noticing if it's flaring out or pointing to the space behind you. Can we sink the hips a little lower? Can we welcome ourselves into a space that might be uncomfortable for personal growth? And we feel into the breath of our own awareness. 2 more. Sink the hips real low. Last exhale. All the way to standing. Inhale, rise up, stretch, arch back, lift the heart, the gaze. Breathe out and fold forward. Breathe in and lift halfway. Lower the hands to the ground, step the right foot all the way to the back of the mat. Drop the right knee down. Looking at that front left leg, knee over ankle. Inhale, reach the arms to the sky. Exhale, bend the elbows, open the heart. Keep driving the hips forward. Can you lift the arms up? And feel all the polarities that are happening within this moment. As we press down, we lift up. As we breathe in, we breathe out. We find strength in our body and grace in our breath. Take a moment to just be, to receive and release, receive and release. One final breath in here. Exhale, hands come down to frame that left foot. Lift the right knee. Left leg straight as we breathe in. Left knee bends as we breathe out. Take a couple more. Feel into the sensations of awakening our own senses. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. Let's take about 2 more, just pulsing into the rhythm of the moment, into the rhythm of your body. Really allow ourselves to move into the feelings, to not try to avoid them or skip past them, but see, how can I come into this practice of peace and calm through my own awareness, even through the discomfort? One more breath in and out. And placing the hands on the ground, let's step back, downward facing dog. Shifting ourselves forward and into a plank position. Inhale. As the breath moves out of the body, taking one pulse all the way down to the earth. Exhale. This time, untuck your toes. Bring your hands to clasp behind you. Seeing if you can bring the entire base of the palm together, not just the fingers, but the entire palm. Start to slide the knuckles beyond the tailbone, lift the heart, rise up just to your point of sustainability. You don't have to go to this max point where we feel like we can't breathe and we're shoving ourselves into different shapes. Find your sweet spot. If you wish, lift your feet off the earth. Find your breath, that which nourishes you and supports you in this present moment. One more in we take. Exhale, lower all the way down to your belly. Just take rest for a moment. Hands down, head can turn to the earth. Take a sigh, let it go in through the nose. When you're ready, mindful movements. Hands slide back under the shoulders. Press back to downward facing dog. Let's take a moment here. Find your hands first. Feel how your hands press into the ground. And this being a practice of balance, equanimity, and mindfulness, is there a part of your hand that's perhaps just hanging out and we can engage into it? Or is there a part of the hand that's perhaps working too hard and we can soften and allow the rest of the hand? Feel into your feet. Feel into the parts of your feet that press down into the earth. And see if you can feel almost as if you're plugging into that electrical source. We're plugging down into the earth and feeling the energy move up through the arms, the legs, and radiating through the entire body. And this energy in our yoga practice is called prana. Prana is that universal life force that moves through all living things. Let's move on, lifting right heel to the sky. Also available in tabletop. Bend the knee, open the hip. Find a little bit of movement through your right leg. Maybe you're circling out the leg, the hip, flexing and pointing your toes. Re-extend right leg long. Bring the knee to the nose. Find your way to bring that right foot to the front of the mat. Right toes are facing forward. Rotate left heel down. Rise up into warrior two. Bending through the right knee, straighten through the arms, and then can we find that vertical place from the crown of the head to the tailbone? Seeing if we're not reaching too far forward into the future or too far back into the past, but just landing in the right here and the right now. When we do this practice as a gift for ourselves, For our loved ones, may we nourish our own hearts. May we take care of ourselves first so that we can take care of everything else. Let's find that reverse warrior, left hand down, right arm up and back. Find this nice big opening stretch. Bend a little more into your right knee. Roll that left shoulder back. Be here now. What is happening right here, right now? Let's follow the breath as we windmill the hands all the way down to the ground. We're going to come into that balance, shifting the weight into the right foot. Let the left heel float to the sky. Walk your hands to a place on the earth that feel grounded for you. Some of us that might be further back, others of us that might be further forward. I encourage you to really explore, see what feels best. Feel into the breath, feel into the moment, feel into the endurance, the strength, the love, the fire. Feel into all of it right here. One more breath in, lift the left heel a little higher. Left foot comes down to meet the right, forward fold. Heel toe the feet a little wider than your hips this time, and find a slight pigeon toe. Toes turn slightly inward. We take our hands to clasp behind us, seeing if we can bring the entire base of the palm together once again. Roll the shoulders up and back first, and then lift the knuckles to the sky. Forward fold, hands bound. Can you feel almost as if there were two hands on the fronts of your shoulders, assisting them in lifting up and back to broaden across the collarbones? To arrive into these moments, can we soften our toes and surrender our heart? Drawing the navel in towards the spine, this continuous action of protecting the low back, engaging our center. Just find a couple more breaths. Breathe into what is coming up for you. So our yoga teaches us that challenges, discomfort it's not in the way. It's part of the way. It's part of our journey. What are we here to learn? Last exhale. Lower hands to the low back as you lift halfway. Release the hands, fold forward. You can keep your feet wide if that feels nice. And we inhale, lift halfway, heel toe the feet back to the space under the hips. Exhale, fold forward. Now, can you take your first two fingers as if you were making a peace sign, hook them between your big toe and your second toe, and then use that hook as leverage to pull yourself further into this forward fold. Drawing the chin slightly in and down towards the chest so that we're not kinking through the back of the neck. Last exhale, can we fold a little more, stretching, lengthening, loving, most importantly. And slowly release the hands. Let's ragdoll ourselves up to standing. A little bend in our knees. Our legs are heavy, our arms are heavy. As the shoulders come to upright, circle the arms out and up. Inhale. Exhale, hands to heart. Pausing, finding these moments to pause. What a perfect way to practice being here now. Release the hands to the hips, and let's find ourselves stepping wide on our yoga mat. Finding your wide stance, looking down, toes facing towards the long edge of the mat. Keep the hands on the hips. Can we squeeze the backs of the shoulders together, lifting the heart to the sky, even the chin? And then hinging from the hips, we fold forward all the way down. Folding, hands can come down to the mat under the shoulders. Inhale, find your half lift. Exhale, fold. We'll start to very organically bend into one knee and then the other. Just going back and forth, feeling that sensation in the inner thighs, the outer hips, the low back. Moving at your own pace. Tune in. Are you moving out of habit? Are you moving out of awareness? And remember that whatever comes up, it's all okay. We're just teaching ourselves to become aware. Let's come back to the center of our fold. Both legs are straight, maybe a little micro bend in the knees. We walk both hands over towards the right foot. Keeping the legs just as they are, maybe we have the space to hook the left hand around the right shin. There's many places that you can go. The hands can simply be walking towards the right foot, or we can have left hand around right shin. And if you wish, take your right hand and wrap it behind your back. Let your head continue to hang. Press down into your feet. Getting into those places of our low back, of our inner hips. One last exhale to twist a little more here. If you've taken the hand behind the back, release. Unwind both hands, walk back to the center of the wide legs. Take a fold. And walk the hands to the opposite foot, over towards the left this time. And seeing if we can keep the legs somewhat straight. And get creative with how you move into this space. We take it in layers. Maybe you can wrap the right hand around the left shin or ankle. Maybe you want to take that left hand and wrap it behind the back. Wherever you are, whatever you're going through, can you greet it with love? Can you greet it with compassion and awareness? And then can you very simply just move back into the breath of the moment? Find another breath or two. And then unwind if you took that half bind. Come back, hands in the center of the mat under the shoulders. Inhale, lift halfway. This time, heel toe your feet all the way together. Finding the feet under the hips. Once again, forward fold. Ragdoll like a weeping willow, coming all the way up to standing. Circle arms out and up, open heart. Inhale. Exhale, hands to heart. Moving into tree pose, finding a single point of focus with your eyes. So fix your gaze on one thing that is not moving. And begin to root down through your right foot. And picking your left foot up, taking this in little steps. So if balance is something that you are perhaps challenged by, start by leaving the toes down. When you feel you have the space, start with the foot and the calf. And when you're ready, whether it's today or in a year of practice, then we move that foot up and into the inner thigh. And we move into our humble expression of tree pose. It's no different if the foot's down or up. We're all in the practice together. If you wish, you can lift your arms, your heart to the sky. Growing those branches, can I stay stable? We notice that sometimes distractions sneak their way in, the mind slips up, and we fall out of the moment. Last 3 breaths. Spread through the fingers, open through the heart, and with as much grace as you're in the pose, lower out of it with the same awareness. It's just like how we don't just charge out of our practice, crumple our mat up and throw it in the corner. Stand for a moment on both feet, close your eyes, open your heart. Opening the eyes back to that single point of focus, one thing, looking at something very small so that there's not even space for the eyes to bounce around the object. And then start to make your way into your version of this tree pose. As we observe the trees in nature, we see all different sizes, shapes, expressions of the tree. We see no 2 trees that look exactly the same. So can we in these moments honor our own individuality? The uniqueness that makes us who we are. And if you wish to grow your branches, and do so within this space of awareness. You notice that the moment the ego creeps its way in and says, "Oh, I got it," we get humbled by our practice. There's no accomplishments in our practice. We just continue to practice. Add one more breath in your expression, loving awareness with our hearts open. And how mindful can we be as we unwind? As we come down, we treat it. Good. Both hands onto the heart. Close the eyes for just a moment. Just feel into your hearts. If we can say out loud, just say, "Thank you, heart. Thank you, thank you, thank you, heart. Thank you, body. Thank you, breath. Thank you, thank you, thank you." And in that gratitude, we come all the way down to bottoms and backs. Lowering all the way down. Take your time to get there. Once we find ourselves on our backs, let's hug our knees into our chest. You can keep the hands on the knees. You can start to find happy baby, which would bring your hands down to your feet. And take a few moments to just see how can I get into various spaces of my body? Not isolating just the hips, but loving into the low back. And just feeling space for exploration, giving yourself permission to move into the unknown, to be a little uncertain, and to enter into this space with just loving awareness. We're going to move this into a figure 4 on our backs, crossing right ankle over left knee. And taking the right hand through the triangle of the legs, take the left hand to the outside. Hands meet on the back of the left hamstring. Can we come alive and active through the feet by flexing the toes in towards their knees? And then can we continue to soften our shoulders? So this is what happens as we move into one place and the rest of the body compensates, rolls, or locks up. Can we soften the shoulders? Can we keep the heart open as we move into the sensation of the hips? Notice the back of your head and see if you can draw your chin a little bit in towards the chest. Mindful movements. Start to circle out both ankles. Flex and point your toes. Circle out your ankles. And then start to bend and straighten your left leg. So as you inhale, press the left heel all the way up to the sky. As you exhale, bend the knee, dropping heel towards glutes. Inhale, straighten left leg all the way to the sky. Exhale, bend the knee, left heel to glute. One more time. Inhale, straighten left heel to sky. Exhale, bend the knee, heel towards glute. Release the hands from the back of the leg, and as you set the left foot down, can you set it a little more to the right side of the mat? And then take your left hand, bring it to your right knee, and we bring this leg into a spinal twist, bringing right leg all the way over to the left, extending right arm out to the right, turning the gaze to the right. Finding ourselves in our spinal twist. And coming back to I am loving awareness. Couple more breaths in this twist, just remembering our practice, remembering what brought us here. What intention did you set in your heart? And let's unwind, come back to center, and find ourselves hugging both knees in towards the chest once again, or happy baby. And just a moment to be on our backs, to release, to find comfort within the freedom. And we'll take figure 4 on the second side. We'll take our left leg and cross it over our right, threading the hands around and through to the back of the right hamstring. And then take a moment to just be there with yourself, to check in with yourself, to tune in to the here and the now. And if you wish, start to circulate through your ankles, your toes, keeping the heart open, keeping the shoulders soft. As we inhale, start to straighten right leg to the sky. Exhale, bend the right knee. Do that a couple times. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. One more. Releasing hands from right leg. Can we set the right foot down a little bit to the left side of our mat? And then take the right hand to the left knee, crossing the body with that left leg, finding yourself in your twist. Left arm out to the left, looking to the left. So we find ourselves in these twists. We unwind any tension. We nourish the abdominal organs by twisting and wringing out. We notice, how am I in this moment right here, right now? And then we slowly unwind ourselves out of this space. Finding yourself back on your back, hugging the knees into the chest, bringing the forehead up to the knees and giving ourselves a really nice, loving squeeze. A hug, a love, squeezing, loving. Everybody give one knee a kiss. Mwah. Say thank you, body. And the other one, mwah. I love you, body. And now we surrender down into Shavasana, finding ourselves in our final resting pose. Heels on the ground, toes fall out, backs of the hands on the earth, palms open, spreading the fingers and then letting the hands soften. We take a cleansing breath for our final release. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Surrender and relax. Find the space between the thoughts, as if the mind were the big, vast, endless, open blue sky. We acknowledge as the thoughts float by like clouds, they take shape. And instead of attaching ourselves to them, can we acknowledge their presence, their beauty, and let them drift? And find ourselves in the peace of the moment. Feel your breath as it naturally rises and falls. And just like we don't clench or hold on to the inhale, can we participate the same way with the thoughts? Let them come and go. Seeing if we can relax the muscles on the face, the jaw, the inner eyes. And coming back, slowly taking an inhale. Open the mouth. Begin to wiggle the toes. Wiggle your fingers. And with loving awareness, take a full body stretch. Reach, point, breathe in, and out. Bending your knees as it feels nice. And taking a moment to roll over onto either side of your body. And to pause there, to be there, to breathe there. And then slowly come back up, sitting on our bottoms. Taking one more moment as we arrive here to just sit with the eyes closed. And to see if we can find ourselves in this vertical plane of the here and the now. And we'll take our hands and we'll gather them into that Anjali Mudra, the merging, the heart before the heart. Bowing the chin in and down towards the chest. honoring ourselves, our uniqueness in this practice of yoga. Namaste. Namaste, everybody. You can unmute if you want to come. If you want to stay quiet, I get it. You can just hop off.
Thank you so much, Tiffany.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it. Have a great day. See you on Thursday.
Sounds good, you guys. Have a good day.
Thanks, Tiffany. Bye-bye, sweetie. Love you.
Bye. Love you.